Well, let's have a look at the two teams this afternoon. Well, Danny Murphy, who's been linked with moves to both Newcastle and Manchester City this week, is absent again for Charlton, reportedly suffering from a hamstring strain. Alan Kirbishley's only change then from the side which won in the FA Cup against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday sees Premiership ever-present Luke Young returning at the back for Jonathan Spector, and Hughes, who we mentioned is a target for Birmingham, isn't even amongst the substitutes. As expected, Steve Bruce gives a debut to striker Chris Sutton, a free transfer from Celtic, as Birmingham look to improve a meagre goal tally of just 15 from 20 Premiership games. Elsewhere, Matthew Upson, Mario Melchiot and Muzzy Izzet all return as the St Andrews injury list finally begins to shorten. In addition, recent victims Mikhail Forsell and David Dunn are among the substitutes.
15 Neil Kilkenny and 21 Julian Gray.
So Birmingham City with new signing Chris Sutton in the lineup for the first time. Kick-off in all blue, kicking from right to left, and Sutton's already in the thick of the action, conceding an early free kick. With me here at the Valley this afternoon is Gary Birtles. What sort of impact are you expecting from Chris Sutton?
Well, I don't expect an overnight impression, because he's got to get to the pace of the Premiership. He's been playing up in Scotland, no disrespect. I think it's a different game up there. Give him time, but what Steve Bruce is getting here is experience, knowledge of the game, a player who will hold the game up front and bring midfield into play.
He's going to have a play for a Charlton throw. Here's Kishishev. Melchiot, who's back in the side and scored against Wigan in the last Premiership fixture for Birmingham, a much-needed win. Gets the ball upfield. Graham Poll is the familiar referee. Charlton have only lost once to Birmingham in 7 Premiership games. 3 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat. Beat them 3-1 here last season when Sean Bartlett, Danny Murphy and Talal El Karkouri were the scorers. There's Sutton's chance to get a flick on. He's done that as well. Heskey. This is Yarashik. Support from Lazaridis if he wants it. Upson finds Melchiot as Birmingham strings some passes together. Pennant. Sutton again. Breaks down though, and Fortune will clear. Sutton again with a flick. He's had quite a few touches in the opening 2 minutes. And here's Ramadal for Charlton. Still Ramadal. Clatters back off Stein Lazaridis.
It's noticeable there, double marking on Ramadal. His pace is frightening. If you let him get beyond you, you're in trouble.
Scored twice in that cup tie win at Hillsborough last week. Heskey. Pushed by Maradison.
A lot of niggly fouls early in this game. Expect it in and around the halfway line. Centre halves letting centre forwards know what to expect for the rest of the game. Heskey's strong enough to take that. I think it's important now that Heskey and Sutton, 2 players who are good in the box, but Birmingham get the ball wide to Pennant and to Yarasic quickly so they can deliver the quality those 2 strikers need.
Lazaridis, ball forward, flicks off Bartlett. Ramadal's conceded a throw. Quickly taken. Here's Lazaridis. Wants it on his left foot, of course. Good firm tackle by Holland. Upson got there ahead of Bartlett. Not once but twice.
Well, nice to see Muzzy Izzet back in the Birmingham side. He's had a horrendous time with injuries. Really a quality player. Steve Bruce has been missing.
Sutton trying to chase a ball from that man, Izzet, but he was too far in front of him. Izzet's one of the players that Steve Bruce is absolutely delighted to have back. David Dunn is fit again, he's on the bench, so too is Mikael Forsell. Upson and Melchior have had recent injuries too. It's been a busy treatment room at St Andrews recently, but finally they're beginning to get back into contention.
Well, it's nice to see they've got a strong bench there. They've got Forsell, Dunn, Kilkenny, Gray. That tells you that things are coming a little bit better for Steve Bruce. He's getting key players fit, and it's vital towards the end of the season when you're down in the bottom three.
Lazaridis up towards Heskey, flick towards Sutton, ahead of Riderson though, and there was a nasty clash of heads there between Sutton, the new Birmingham signing, and Herman Riderson.
Well, he was entitled to go for it, both concentrating on the ball, just a nasty collision, side on there. Riderson getting the worst of it.
Yeah, at least Sutton's actually on his feet. Riderson's still down. I think Sutton's okay.
See, both concentrating on the ball, a little bit late on it, Sutton there, and that will hurt, side of the head.
They used to call that a thick ear, didn't they?
Thick ear, that's what he got at school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thick ear.
Yeah, I think that's what he's got now though.
I'd like to see centre halves get up and let the centre forward know that you've been hurt. Talk about Sutton's arrival, in comparison, Darren Bent, his arrival on the Premiership scene from Ipswich, he's taken it in his stride and fourth top goal scorer in the Premiership, and a tremendous success story for Alan Kirbishley.
I think in some ways it mirrors the difference between these two sides, is that Steve Bruce simply hasn't had anyone to put the ball in the net on a regular basis for Birmingham, when you consider that Yuri Jarosik is their top scorer with 5.
Emil Heskey one behind him with 4, and that's why they're in the bottom 2. Steve Bruce knows that. He tried to get Pandiani, that didn't quite work for him. And he's a Dugarry sort of reaction, I think, maybe from Sutton to turn things round.
Well, here's Sutton. It's a good ball into Jarosik. He tried to go for his 6th goal of the season there, but it was wide off the left foot.
Well, that's disappointing, because the layoff from Sutton was good. Heskey strong here. You see Sutton just cushion the ball into Jarosik, and he's just totally off balance when he hits it. Put up by 2 defenders. See Sutton cushions it into his path. Watch his body shape here. Totally the wrong side, and disappointing finish.
Here's Chris Sutton again winning the ball in the air. Jarosik getting there! And that's a good effort, and it's just wide.
Well, I think Birmingham and the fans can see what they're going to get from Chris Sutton already. He's been involved a lot, a long ball, direct route. But look at him here, backs in, wins his header. Jarosik gambles, gets on the end, and just cannot direct it on target. Intelligent play from Sutton. Gamble there, good closing down, and just drags it wide. But early impressions are pretty good for Chris Sutton.
Certainly causing a few headaches for the likes of Riderson and Fortune.
It takes the pressure off Emil Heskey a little bit as well. He's been the one expected to make things happen for Birmingham. Now he's got a player of vast knowledge and experience, and that will help him.
As you mentioned, Forsell, another player whose career's been racked by injury, is on the bench today. There's Kishishev though for Charlton. Holland. Powell is wide. Will cut that loose pass from Kishishev out. Sutton one side, Heskey the other. It's gone for Heskey. Sutton arriving in the box. Not much support though. Goes out of play, but they were slow to support Sutton up there.
Yeah, Heskey had made a good run down the channel, and he looked in the box, and there was only Sutton there, and Jarosik wasn't breaking his neck to help him get there.
Helped along towards Romadal, who's done well to get it away from Upson. Here's Luke Young. Bent on the outside. Young will toe poke it back to Kishishev. Kishishev's ball in, away by Cunningham. pressure from Charlton here, although Holland's failure to control it let them down.
They look very nervous, Charlton. Slide down the table doesn't help. Doesn't help that you gain more points away from home than you have at home. 15 away they've claimed and only 10 at home. 1-3 and lost 6.
Samuel Kirbishley not a happy man at the moment. It's not hard to see why. Taken 6 points from their last 10 games, Charlton. From a season which had so much promise earlier on. The two met in September and Darren Bent got the winner and it looked like Charlton were on the up and up. Kenny Cunningham's free kick for Birmingham. Jarosic is there, can't get a touch. Hesky keeps it in, but it's academic. There was a foul there by Sutton. Bartlett tangling with Upson winning, but only finding Kishishev. This is Romadal. Saw it nicked off his toes by Johnson. Sutton trying to slide it through to Heskey, but it was under hit and Haridason was in the way. It's a clever ball by Haridason. Almost found Romadal. He has won a free kick, rather a throw-in off Lazaridis. Sutton, says the assistant referee on this near side. Kishishev with the volley in towards Bartlett. Upson away. All the way back to Moira. Got there just in front of Bent, but then didn't get the necessary purchase on the back pass, atoned by hooking it out of play.
Wasn't the best of defender to start with, but got his bit of luck and cleared his lines as he should have done in the first place.
This Cowell will throw long. Prevents Cunningham's header from going for a corner kick.
I know one man doesn't make of the team, but the loss of Danny Murphy to Charlton, every time I've seen them, he's been instrumental in everything that's good going through the midfield. You're bound to miss somebody like him.
Yeah, it's a hamstring injury that's kept him out. There was, of course, a lot of rumour and innuendo about the fact that he's been linked with possible moves. A swap with Lee Bowyer and a possible move to Manchester City as well have been talked about this week. Although Graham Souness describes the difference in valuations between Charlton and Newcastle in that situation as miles apart, so it doesn't look as if anything is going to happen quickly on that front. Kishishev chips the ball into the box. Upson stretching, just gets a flick.
It's a vital touch from Upson there. Put into a good area. Just gets the faintest of touches and Bent gambling, just sees it run out of play.
Well, the Charlton fans have finally found their voices. Not too much to sing about as yet, but they have a corner which Romadal will take. There's the header, and it's in! And it's Brian Hughes who's put Charlton ahead in the 29th minute, and you have to say it's rather against the run of play. But he's a former Birmingham player, and he's scored against them.
It's a quality ball in there, invites attack, he gets half a yard, downward header, and that's what beats Birmingham. Big bounce, top corner, it's about the delivery, tremendous, he attacks it well, not defended well. But he'll take that, that's textbook, head the ball down, gets a big bounce, top corner, can't stop it, but Birmingham will be disappointed at the defending, the lack of it from that corner.
Well, he's one of the men who helped Birmingham win promotion to the Premiership in 2002. Brian Hughes, he had a spell of 7 years at St Andrews. He's come back to haunt them. He actually scored the winner for Birmingham against Charlton in Division 1 in 1999, and he's now scored for Charlton against Birmingham. It's only Brian Hughes' second goal of the season. The other was against Blackburn in that 4-1 defeat that Gary Berthers was mentioning earlier on. So that was little more than a consolation. This one could be a good deal more important.
Well, it's all about the quality from the corner, but look at the amount of blue shirts in there. Just loses his man. It's Jarosic there, sleeping a little bit, but gets a little bit of luck he deserves there.
I think it's the first effort on target in the entire game. There's Ramadal. How much character of Birmingham City got now? They've been the better side, they've had the half chances, and they find themselves behind. This is where they'll have to stand up, and Steve Bruce will be expecting them to do that.
For me, they just haven't got Jermaine Pennant in the game enough in this first half. He's come inside looking for the ball, he's been starved of supply on the right hand side.
Scramble for the ball. Luke Young emerges with it, but not for long. Johnson back to Taylor. Bit of pressure from Bent, and he's rather sliced the clearance. Bartlett's underneath it. Tries to find Hughes again, but Izzet's there first. It's cool play on the edge of his own 18-yard box. For Charlton. Finally, the flag goes up. Darren Bent was the man who strayed offside. That was by Bent, but it comes to nothing.
Taylor must be wondering what's going against him. Not a shot to save. Anything he's able to do is pick the ball out the back of his net.
Here's Sutton, looking to get back on terms. Melchiot, it's a good ball. Here's Jarosic. Sutton's in the middle. Oh, it was almost the debut goal. Just the wrong side of the post at full stretch, but it got a deflection.
This is good from Birmingham again. Patient build-up. Lovely ball by Melchiot. Jarosic does well. Puts it in the right area. Sutton attacks the near post, but it's well defended.
Pennant's corner. There's Upson. Up rather than at the goal. Here's Ramadal for Charlton as they look to counter. Almost picked out Darren Bent. Bartlett's there. Holland has it. Upson will clear the danger. Lost out to Heskey. He's got easied up ahead of him. Still it's Emil Heskey. Chris Sutton now. Pennant with the cross. Haridason with the clearance.
Pennant could have done better there. He got the ball in the edge of the box, one-on-one with Powell. Didn't take the opportunity to take him on.
Through Upson's long ball forward. Sutton with the flick on again. Heskey trying to tease it through to Izzet, but Jonathan Fortune wouldn't let him through. Here's Dennis Ramadal, and again he'll look to take on Lazaridis. Down to Matt Holland. The volley was just over. He scored in his last two games actually. Matt Holland against Everton in a 3-1 defeat, and also in the cup win last week.
Good ball into Bent, cushioned into the path of Holland here. Just leaning backwards a little bit, wouldn't come down for him.
Heskey. Couldn't get it through. Bartlett has it for Charlton instead. Forward towards Bent, and there's a late one there by Melchior on Sean Bartlett, which Graham Poll will require words for, I suspect.
Well, did he overplay this one, Bartlett? Just gets a foot in there, just stood on his instep there. That will hurt. Theatrical, but it was a foul.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as it looked, actually. Does present Charlton with a free kick, and only the taker, Jonathan Fortune, and his goalkeeper are inside Charlton's half now. Robson climbing well. Now Sutton, good awareness. Yarashik, not a great first touch. Charlton are able to clear. Bartlett trying to find his strike partner. Bent. Here's Hughes, the goal scorer. There's the flag up against Darren Bent.
Just straight offside, but he's saying Bartlett should have played him in the first place. See, the ball wasn't a good one there. Should have been in between the two defenders. Just coming back from an offside position. Disappointed with the original delivery from Bartlett.
10 minutes left in the first half. Birmingham the better side, but Charlton the leaders. 1-0. Here's Pennant. It's a good ball. Is it? In towards Yarashik. Clearance was by Young. And now there's a high ball for Bent to chase, but Upson did well. Pennant just stretches out his arms as if to say, who shall I play it to? He's played it to Yarasic. You find Heskey. Heskey with a shot, decent one too, 18 yards and not too far over the bar.
It's going to be a good one to beat the keeper from this distance. Again, Sutton involved, very good layoff there. Nearly loses it, Emil Heskey. He'd like to take it in his stride, doesn't. Gets his shot away. You want him to hit the target from there. Just leaning back a bit, drifts over the bar.
We're in the last 4 minutes of the half. Charlton leading through Brian Hughes' header against his former club. It's Horizon's header away. Yarasic knocking it back again. As it finds Johnson. Myler will come under pressure from Sutton. Sutton again trying to get the measure of Ryerson. Ball is chipped forward by Hughes towards Bent, but away by Cunningham. There's Bartlett. Reed is backpedaling. And again, Mike Taylor has knocked it straight out of play, and he's not pleased with that one bit. And might give Charlton the chance to have a late surge in the first half. Luke Young has done well to get forward, and Yarasic was a little bit too persistent in his attentions there, and Graham Poll was right on top of it.
He's got that one right, trying to play advantage. Well, have been Young does well here, flicks it over Yarasic. Just a block there across the shoulder, and another one. Tries to play advantage, but pulls it up in the end. Been undone from one set piece, will they be undone from another?
It's Romadal again to deliver. Is it with the clearance? Young back in, flicked by Haridason. No flag, but no one there in a red shirt either.
Well, disappoints Steve Bruce that his team have been undone by a set piece, a corner. The marking was a bit slack. Other than that, he's got to be reasonably pleased with the way his team's played.
Incidentally, if Brian Hughes were to score again, it would be his 50th in league football. It's number 49. Pretty much remains the only effort on target in the whole of the first half. Heskey and Jarosic have fired wide for Birmingham. Bartlett's had a couple of wildly off-target efforts for Charlton. It was a boxing match. I think Birmingham will be winning on points. They have a free kick.
There was a free kick there. Bartlett made a back for Upson. Didn't attempt to go for it. Nasty fall, but gets up okay.
We're in the final minute of the first half. There's only one place this is going from Mike Taylor. Sutton as ever. It's the touch. Jarosic. Now Romadal for Charlton. Bartlett is chasing. Upson's there. Better clearance by Taylor this time. Here's Hughes, and his goal separates the sides. He's done well to find Kishishev.
1 minute additional time to be played.
1 minute to add on to the 45. Now then, it's Luke Young. Might go all the way. Just puts the shot wide, Luke Young, but promising opening.
He does well, Luke Young here. Harries and hassles. Gets his just rewards. Burst forward, and then it's a full-back shot in the end. Doesn't he do well here? Dispossesses Jarosic too easily for my liking. He's direct, and the final effort not one of his best.
The last goal he scored actually was against Birmingham City in a 1-1 draw. That was back in September 2004. Hasn't scored in 51 games since. Half-time at the Valley, and rather against the run of play, Charlton Athletic lead by a goal to nil. Brian Hughes, a former Birmingham City player, with a headed goal from a Dennis Romadal cross. Pretty much the only effort on target in the whole of the first half. Birmingham have certainly had more chances. Chris Sutton's had a solid debut, getting on the end of plenty of high balls and knocking them down for the likes of Heskey and Jarosic, but neither has been able to finish anything off. And at the interval, it's Charlton Athletic 1, relegation-haunted Birmingham City 0. Can Birmingham City get themselves back into this game and get vital points in their desperate bid to avoid relegation? Hughes with an early ball in for Charlton, which is flicked by Bartlett. It won't go out. Here's Romadal. Jarosic in the way. Romadal may get another chance. Finally, it's knocked out of play by Damien Johnson.
It's a bright start from Charlton in the second half. Pressure straight back on Birmingham.
Plenty of red shirts in the box. Bartlett's one of them, but above him is Upson. Knocked back in towards Bartlett again, and that was a volley by Matt Holland, which wasn't too far away.
There's a bit of head tennis here from Birmingham. Again, the long throw comes in. Not defended very well. Not cleared well there. That's a good attempt. Could have hit the target there. No pressure on him at all. Volleys it wide. Has to hit the target. It's a good opportunity to increase the lead.
He's got a good record against Birmingham, actually, Matt Holland. He scored 4 times in 11 games against them. But here come Birmingham now at the other end with Chris Sutton. Finds Pennant.
I'm surprised Chris Sutton didn't have a proper goal there. Sat up nicely for him. Chose to play it wide.
Here's Cunningham. Easily dealt with. Bartlett for Charlton. He gets himself into trouble, does in the end. Heskey claims he was pulled, and Graham Poll agrees.
Bartlett got his team into trouble there, and to give the free kick away to stop Heskey progressing.
So a chance for Birmingham to get themselves level. Kenny Cunningham spotting up the free kick. Crossed by Upson, acrobatic clearance was by Hughes. Is it Holland tangling? Here's Pennant. Birmingham look to keep the pressure up. Narishik far side. Still have the ball, the Blues. This is Melchior. Damian Johnson's ball in. Claims the throw, but it will go Charlton's way.
A lot of options on the bench. Birmingham, I'd like to see Dunn come on natural width on the left and Jarosic back in the centre of midfield.
Heskey's inward header towards Sutton. Get a second chance, Heskey, but it's been volleyed away by Charlton. Ball is up, but there's an offside flag against Darren Bent, who can't quite believe it.
Stops a little bit too early. I think the assistant got it right. Just steps up there, Kenny Cunningham. It's a dangerous game to play.
It's Cunningham's free kick. Right ball for Heskey! It was a good save, but the finish could have been better from the former England striker.
That has to be 1-1 for me. This is where people have a go at Emil Heskey. And it's no wonder, lovely header. Well, it's not, it's a defensive header. He's got to go in with more desire for me than that. Sutton causes the problems, doesn't go in with any real desire at all to put it in the back of the net, and he should be doing that.
Heskey's there. Good header by Hardison though. Allardyce attempts to keep the ball in player in vain. It's been a good spell this from Birmingham, but as we've been saying all afternoon, they need someone to finish it off. There's Jarosic. Lazaridis has got round the outside. Into Heskey! And again he's failed to deliver.
Lazaridis does ever so well here. We had no real right to get through here, but he does, muscles his way through. Heskey attacks the near post, tries to get the purchase on it, but can't quite do it. Lazaridis just superbly. Not many options for him. Heskey attacks, but too far wide of the near post to make any real contribution.
Birmingham do have a corner kick. It's Jarosic! It's across the face of goal, and in the end quite a way wide.
It's a decent ball in by Pennant, he attacks it well. Just cannot direct it goalwards, leaning backwards a little bit. Nobody at the far post to retrieve it.
Well, I wonder what that discussion is about. Could it be the introduction of substitutes? David Dunn we've mentioned, Mikael Forsell possibly.
See both of them on, Forsell and Dunn. Players who can make a difference, who can create a spark.
And Birmingham press on. Is it with the header? Away by Powell. It's elaborate by Melchior, but it's gone straight to Powell. Rather messy at the moment. Fischer-Sheck has done well to find Bartlett though. Holland picked out Hughes. Hardison with the big pump forward. Bartlett with the flick towards Bent. Upson did well, and he was being pushed anyway.
It was a bit of a late challenge by Bent. Upson had it under control here. Clears it. Little barge into the midriff.
Sign yet that he's going to add to his 13 goals this season, 10 of them in the Premiership. Darren Bent scored in 3 of his last 4 home games. Damian Johnson wins the ball in midfield. Lazaridis takes over. Toll pokes it to Sutton. Lazaridis again low in towards Heskey. Sutton on the edge of the box, off balance and driving wide.
It's better from Birmingham again. It's good possession, good build-up, patient. They get the look there, lovely ball played in. Heskey does well here, strong, lays it off. Just comes a bit too quickly for Sutton. Just cannot get enough power on it or direction to cause Moira a save.
Makes his way off the pitch and on comes Forsell. David Dunn, another player who Steve Bruce is very grateful to have fit after some dreadful injury problems.
Well, I'm surprised at the substitutions, not the ones who are coming in, but the ones who've gone off, really. I would have thought Damien Johnson would have been the one to go off. Maybe Emil Heskey, but...
Here's Sutton. Yes, they've got 3 strikers on now, Birmingham. Here's Lazaridis, like a 4-3-3 at the moment. Sutton's up, header away.
Damien Johnson's got the right back.
Darren Ambrose with a fresh pair of legs. Hughes, Kishishev in a good position. Darren Bent, it's good play by Charlton. Luke Young. Oh, it's a good save too. Mike Taylor preventing Birmingham City from going 2-0 down, and Luke Young close to his first goal in 51 games.
Yeah, good movement again from Charlton. Just checks inside there, Young. Left foot, low to his right. That's a good save in the end. This is just going to creep in the bottom corner. Maybe not, but Taylor didn't know that.
Taylor's done well there too.
He has done well, but he's grasped it and he's looking for somebody to throw it to, but Birmingham have got every player back. And that always baffles me why that happens. You encourage the opposition straight back onto you. Good chance for a counter-attack and it had gone because nobody was there in a blue shirt forward.
Very high clearance, Sutton trying to flick it on towards Forsell. With Fortune's clearance has gone straight to Pennant. He's done well to find Muzzy, is it? Too close to the goalkeeper.
It is too close for the keeper, that's disappointing. End again to a promising builder.
And here's Darren Ambrose, who's been lively since coming on. This is Bent, he's got Bartlett and Ambrose in the box, but blocking was Lazaridis.
He's done well at left back, Lazaridis. Seen off Romadal, he's off the pitch. I thought that would have been a decent battle had Romadal been up to his best.
It's a big year for Stan Lazaridis with the Socceroos into the World Cup. Chance to represent Australia on the biggest stage of all. Upson's header clear only as far as Bartlett. Dunn has complete control with his chest despite those optimistic cries. Here's Sutton. Pennant's done well to win the ball there. Here's Johnson going forward pretty much as far from right back as he did when he was playing in the centre of midfield.
He does well there, pal. Bags of experience.
Muzzy is it caught by Kishishev, who I think was late rather than malicious there.
That's poor though.
David Dunn trying to find Johnson, just about cleared. Forsell's tried to win it back. Pinballing from one team to the other at the moment. Malchiot for Birmingham. Was by Sutton again. Iverson is master of the 18-yard box on that occasion.
A little bit of panic setting in at the back for Charlton. You can see how close they are to claiming these 3 points.
Damien Johnson's cross. Spectre with the header clear. This is Lazaridis. 1-2 with Forsell, doesn't come off, but it's bounced back to Sutton. Lazaridis again, away by Hardison.
I think Kirby actually wanted them to defend balls into his box better than they have done before, and they've done it to a reasonable standard this afternoon.
Dunn's been caught in possession by Holland. Ryan Hughes up towards Bent. Bent will chase that ball as well. Malchiot happy to let it run through to his goalkeeper. This is Damien Johnson. As is it. Salazar, drop for Sutton. It was away by Young, and Powell again showing a cool and wise head.
So much composure there. People around him are slicing clearances. Powell just calmly chests it back to his keeper.
9 minutes left at the Valley. Charlton Athletic still leading by that 1-0. Bartlett. Space. Dunn's giving it away again. Now he's lost out too. Here's Pennon. Squeezed out to Damien Johnson. Heading forward again. And he's played it too far in front of Pennington to Sutton.
All it needed there was rolling across the face of the goal, and he's put too much pace on it, too much height on it. And again, a promising build-up has just petered out, and Steve Bruce must be so frustrated because he's seen his team do that on so many occasions.
We're going to have another substitution for Charlton Athletic. That's Kevin Lisby coming on, and Radostin Kishishev is the man coming off. Kevin Lisby is Charlton Athletic's longest-serving current player.
And he's number 12, Kevin Lisby.
Had a little loan spell at Norwich earlier this season. Scored in the match against Watford, but hasn't scored in the Premiership since the opening day of last season. Here's Malchiot for Birmingham. Time's running out for them. All options misjudged it, and he's just got away with it.
I think had Bent got him with any real conviction there, he could have made Matthew Upson a little bit uncomfortable.
As Malchiot's now under pressure from Darren Ambrose, but again, Birmingham survived. Sutton was fouled by Hardison. A little bit hasty there from Chris Sutton. Powell should have the measure of Forsell.
He's done ever so well, Powell, for his team.
Nicely played across field. Luke Young trying to take on Lazaridis. Skips round Dunn and finds Hughes. Lazaridis in the end gets the foot in.
And Lazaridis does well, reads the danger, snuffs it out.
Dunn forward. Sutton finds Forsell. To take on Hardison. It's Forsell! Well, it was more purposeful than what we've seen, but the direction wasn't there.
Well, I think he's picked the wrong option here. Lovely flick by Sutton. Carries his run into the box. Heskey's there, and I think if he drags it back here, Birmingham have got a chance of scoring. It's an acute angle, goes for glory, picks the wrong option, I think.
And suddenly, Darren Bent's gone sprinting through. He's got Ambrose in the clear. Here's Darren Ambrose. This will wrap it up. Had he scored, but he didn't. He's knocked it over.
Well, that all came from Thomas Myra. Didn't Muzzy as it do well in the end to get back. Lovely throw out, the pace of Bent. Gets him away on the left-hand side. Looks up, sees Ambrose. Lovely ball in his path. First touch not the best, allows Izzy to get the pressure on. That's a terrific chance to wrap up the points.
As it is, he's missed, and Charlton are still in danger of not taking all 3 points. Here's Pennant. Over-ambitious, I fancy that one.
Well, he's tried everything he possibly knows this second half, Pennant, to get his team something out of the game. Switch flanks, cuts inside, drags it across the face. We can't knock his effort this second half.
Stan Lazaridis. There's no foul there. Oh, that's a really wasteful ball back to Forsell. Here's Heskey for Birmingham. David Dunn. Left to right. Damien Johnson. Chip ahead towards Sutton. Dummy towards Forsell. Here's Sutton! Oh, and it's a good save. What a debut strike that would have been for Chris Sutton. But Thomas Myra's denied him.
Lovely interplay here, dummy from Sutton. Lovely awareness from Forsell. Decent strike, but Myra stays big, strong. Played into him, lovely dummy. Lovely back heel here. And Myra stays big and strong. It's a good strike. And he got on the ground. It's one each.
We've reached the final minute. Upson. But wide. Charlton fans are a little unhappy that the announcer has just told us there'll be 3 more minutes to play.
That's a lovely ball played in by Johnson. Lovely dummy again. Terrific back here, but Myra, doesn't he do well? He stays big and strong. Some keepers go to ground and gamble. He didn't. He stayed strong and denies Sutton a debut goal.
Can Birmingham get themselves another chance? Here's Sutton again. I imagine Steve Bruce has been encouraged by his display despite the result, or what looks like being the result.
Well, I just hope that the people at Birmingham, the board of directors, the owners, just see what has happened this afternoon, how well that Birmingham have approached this game, and a bit unfortunate maybe not to get anything out of it, and just believe in Steve Bruce.
We've had 1 minute of the 3 that have been added on. Forward by Upson. Sutton is there, can't get a touch. Is it? Sutton again. Repaired by Hughes. And Bent will chase, and he could get there ahead of Melchiot. It's Darren Bent! It's 2-0 Charlton! The points are theirs! And Darren Bent has got his 14th goal of the season with a typically brilliant finish.
That is emphatic. Came out of nothing, but his pace got him beyond Melchiot. The long clearance, a hopeful one. Taylor looked to be coming. Melchiot couldn't get there, didn't bring him down. What a finish this is. Top corner. You don't come more emphatic than this. Direct ball, good first touch, gets it away, and bang. Top corner. Absolutely terrific finish. Strength, power, and that is quality finishing. Who's to say he couldn't play a part in maybe the England squad going to the World Cup?
He's been absolutely terrific.
And you have to feel so sorry for Birmingham because they put a lot of pressure on Charlton, got nothing out of it.
There goes the final whistle. Charlton fans celebrate a victory. Darren Bent with a terrific strike at the end to seal the points. But for Birmingham, well, they played pretty well for most of the game, but they couldn't do what that man can. And what that man, indeed Brian Hughes, their former player, can too, and that is stick the ball in the back of the net. Chris Sutton did well on his debut, worked hard and tried to create things for other players, had a chance at the end that was saved. But Brian Hughes has heaped more misery on his former club and his former manager Steve Bruce. Birmingham remain deep in trouble at the bottom of the Premiership. But Charlton Athletic win for the second home game running as Steve Bruce goes back to ponder what he has to do to try and rescue this club from relegation this season. This he will have seen as a chance to get the 3 points, but they've failed to do so. And at the Valley, it's Charlton Athletic 2, Birmingham City 0.
Steve, I'd imagine that's the sort of afternoon that has you tearing your hair out, because your team have played well, they've dominated large periods of the game, and yet you've been beaten 2-0.
Well, there's been times this season, and rightly so, we've been very, very critical. Today, what is it, January the 20th, we've got our players back, and you can see what a difference it makes, because we can't do any more than that, really. I mean, we've created chance after chance. We need to take one, but and the overall play and the way the game was played, you know, I mean, the second goal's irrelevant, really. It's 10 seconds to go, but the disappointing thing is we haven't scored. But the pleasing thing is we looked a threat again. I thought Chris Sutton would be a marvellous addition for us.
Well, Matthew, I think the one word that would sum up Birmingham City this afternoon is frustration, because you played well and lost again.
Yep, it's a bit of a recurring problem we have these last few games. We've picked up our form, which is encouraging, but we just can't really back it up with some results. Very frustrating afternoon.
It seemed that everything was going well, apart from really the final third, where you couldn't find the net.
Yeah, I thought that, you know, we played with a lot of hunger today and a good spirit throughout the team, and you know, with the introduction of Chris Sutton, we looked to play forwards quickly, and he linked up well. Our kind of play around the halfway line and starting into their half was good. We had a couple of half chances, but nothing really concrete, and where we probably should have scored a goal.
Well, Alan, it was a strange sort of game. I think a lot of people felt maybe that Birmingham were the better side, but you've got the points.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that in terms of their possession and the way they played on day. It just felt such a tense game. I think coming into it, we felt it was a really important game for us. It was a position we found ourselves, if we could get the result, we can pull away from all that behind us and perhaps jump into the top 10. And if Birmingham got the result, you know, they're creeping up, and you know, so it was a tense game. I think the players, you try and shield the players from that sort of situation, but you know, I think it crept in today, and so I'm grateful for the result. I think you know, we've been trying to get out of this run. It's been a terrible run, and I think Birmingham have been scrapping and fighting for their lives for most of the season, and we've had to do that in the last 5 or 6 games to turn it around, and hopefully the results now will breed a bit of confidence, and we can start playing some of the football we played at the start of the season.
So Charlton beat Birmingham by 2-0 at the Valley. Next.